setting boundaries with yourself, I think, is the one of the hardest things to do. I think society is very big on setting boundaries with other people, right? Say no, set boundaries, but learning how to set boundaries with yourself, extremely hard because you can out-talk yourself out of so many different things. So you're like, you know what? I'm not going to work past 6 today. But it's like, well, this actually really needs to get done and no one can do it like me. So I'm just going to do it anyway. Like you not keeping promises to yourself is one of the biggest forms of lack of self-love. I feel like there really is.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I cannot believe that we're here. Like, we're literally on the set of Crafted for Glory, and this is about to be a girls' talk, okay? We got my friends here. We got Ericka right here, my girlfriend, who is also the owner of an amazing skincare company, but I'm going to let her tell you about that. Okay. Then we got my girlfriend, Kindra, looking gorgeous. Come on, baby. Let's get into it. We got to get into the skincare routine. At least when it ends.
I actually just tried out some of Ericka's Silkenn products.
What? You did?
Find out she did.
I did a 1-week test, and
okay, I'm gonna need a couple of samples.
It did what it needed to do.
Okay, I'm excited. We're going to chat and we're going to talk about that. But I got my girlfriends here, and you guys are tuned into a really cute little coffee and tea time chat. So it's no organization here. We just about to have a good old girls time talking about some fun topics, and I can't wait to do it. I have some amazing creatives here, and they have their own journey, and I would love for them to kick us off with a little brief introduction about yourself. Who wants to go first?
I hate introducing myself, but I'll go first.
Okay, you can do it.
It's okay. My name is Ericka Nicole. I am the founder and CEO of Silkenn Skincare. We are an environmental defense and microbiome-based skincare brand. I'm also the host of the Boss Babe Reset podcast, where we help high achievers prevent burnout. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the girls, she eats. I just want y'all to know. Yeah. Okay.
She's also got the elevator pitch perfected.
So we're trying.
We're trying.
I love that. I should take notes and practice mine. But hey, I'm Kindra Monét. I am a beauty educator, content creator. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a speaker. And honestly, I'm really on a journey. I'm in such a season of transition right now and deciding what works for me and what doesn't work for me anymore. Yeah. So we're ebbing, we're flowing. Yeah. By the time this comes out, I might be something else. Who knows?
I love it. And
okay, I'm the same me I was 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that.
And we love that. We love that. We love a good moment of growth. That's why we love to be crafted for God's glory.
Yes.
Listen, I'm so excited to jump us in. So we're going to play a little icebreaker game. And I'm really, really going to just lean into y'all knowing that y'all got this answer. Because I know y'all, okay? Come on.
All right.
So we're going to kick it off. I want you to give me your top 3 skincare products you cannot live without. Top 3 skincare products.
Girl, I am so biased.
I know
Don't do
you're
that.
biased.
Don't do that. Why would you do that?
Because I want you to give us all the tea.
Silkenn or nothing. No, stop.
Okay. Is it the brand or the type of product?
So let's do
like category or brand?
You know what? Do whatever you want.
Okay.
Give us the top 3. And whoever wants to kick us off can go first.
Hit it, Silkenn.
Okay, I will say for a cleanser, because we don't have a cleanser in the line yet, Youth to the People Superfood Cleanser.
Oh, I love Youth to the People.
Chef's kiss. So good. Love the lather, love the foam. Then it would have to be our powerhouse microbiome serum at Silkenn because you see the skin is skinning. The skin is skinning. And then obviously our moisturizer, our rebound moisturizer. So it's the whole
okay,
thing.
but tell, because you talking about it, but you gotta tell the girls where to get it, because I don't think they know.
It's not available yet.
Okay.
So September 2025, stay tuned, but you should head to www.silkennco.com, sign up to our wait list. We have a lot of in-person activations coming up. So if you're in the New York, LA area,
you better be there.
And I will say, because I feel like sometimes it's like, does the world need another beauty product? But you actually found some white space and it's different. Yeah. Like it's actually different. It's really good. I felt like my skin was so balanced after using it. And she didn't tell me anything about it. It was a true blind test. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I gave her no context at all. But you're up next. You're up next.
Yeah, give me the no context.
For sure.
I literally love the skincare journey. Like, honestly, I had struggled for a long time with my skin. Like, I was not confident. Like, how I used to, like, nowadays, I barely wear makeup like 2-3 times a week. And now it has to be like if I'm going to an event
Yep.
or if I'm doing a thing. But honestly, like 5-6 years ago, I literally had to wear makeup all the time.
I've been there.
I could not leave the house without makeup. I was just like so obsessed with the fact that like I needed to be perfect or I needed to have my skin all together. And so when I think about like my top 3 like products, I automatically think about things that make me feel good. So the first product that I absolutely love that makes me feel good is actually when we went to an event. It was it's this hydro mist, no, not hydro mist, it's a hydro foam. It was the foam cleanser that is by Hemp's.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And I couldn't think of the name, but it's Hemp's foam cleanser. And I absolutely love that cleanser because it makes me feel so refreshed. And like, I feel like after I wash my face, I don't have to run and put on moisturizer. Like I can just let it set and it feels so good. My second favorite product, I know we talking about skincare, but skin is not just your face. Skin is your body.
Yes.
Okay, so Natrium, okay, this is not sponsored. This is just my tips.
Yeah.
Natrium's body wash, I love. It's an oil and I want to say it's oil infused body wash that keeps your skin nice and soft.
Does it lather?
Oh,
Does it gives you a lather?
It gives me a whole lot, but it's not going to give me like, it's not giving bubble bath.
Okay,
Okay,
let me
okay,
break
okay.
that. Listen, everybody, okay? Especially all of our people, but especially the blacks, because I know y'all like to get really squeaky. Okay. It is not actually really good to have a serious lather.
Yes, that's
in
good. Come on, Kindra, educate us.
It's
Okay,
going to
okay.
dry you out.
Really?
It's going to strip your skin.
But it looks so cute, like when you got the little bubbles.
I
and
know we
everything.
love the
Right.
bubbles. I know we love the, like, what is it? Because people really love Dr.Bronners.
Yes. I love Dr. Bronners.
Yes.
If you can clean the floor
Please.
with it, don't clean your skin with it.
My heart.
Not
I know you
snatch.
because you like that squeaky clean feel you get
Yes.
afterwards, but that is your skin just being stripped.
Yes, that's actually a good point. And
Yeah.
as we're like jumping into that too, because I feel like as I've learned about like skincare and taking care of your skin, especially as a Black woman,
Right.
one thing I've really learned is like too much product is actually bad for us, right? And so for me in my own personal skincare journey, what I've loved to do is to have like multiple routines for different seasons.
Yeah.
So like in the summer, I got a different routine when it comes to my skin, but in the winter, I'm a little bit more, I got to be a little bit more moisturized because my skin gets dry.
You're supposed to,
Yeah.
though. And like according to your skin type too, because your skin type changes throughout the seasons.
Tell us a little bit about your favorite. You can do 2-3 products, whatever comes to
Okay.
mind.
So for skin, specifically for body, as a beauty editor in the past, I would be sent so many different products and get to try a lot of them
Yes.
out. And I feel like I know it's good if I've been gifted it for free and then I go back to purchase.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
good.
Fresh Soy Balancing Makeup Removing Cleanser, it's so good.
Is it an oil
Fresh.
cleanser?
It's a it's like a gel cleanser.
Okay.
It's a gel cleanser, but it's really balancing and it removes your makeup and waterproof mascara. I still like to do a double cleanse.
I love that.
Like I love to get like an oil or like a
Right.
balm cleanser first and then bring it on. But the soy makeup removing face
That
wash.
sounds fire. I'm not gonna
I mean,
lie.
Fresh. It's from Fresh. It's a soy cleanser. Very good. I
Yes.
love that. I also really love 54 Thrones for body care. So 54 Thrones is a
heard of
Black-owned brand. They source
You
their
guys
shea
told
butter
me
from
the story.
Ghana, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
But you know how it's so hard to like rub your shea butter in?
Yes.
They actually have it's more lotion-like shea butter.
Ooh, I
So
love
it's
that.
easy to rub it in. So
Yeah.
we love that. And then, I'll just leave it at 2 because
Yeah.
then I could just keep on going. Those are my 2 favorites.
I love that. Like literally, first of all, shea butter in any of my products, I love that on my
Yes,
skin.
we love the
it's
shea.
it's just very moisturizing, and I love that. Like it's just easy me up. I'm gonna say one more product. It's actually not like something you would be putting on your skin. It's more of something to remove makeup. There are these little microfiber washcloths.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, have y'all used those? Like, tell me in the comments. Like, did you use that? Because I have been. Those are holy grail.
And they're
Really?
sustainable.
They're
we
sustainable.
Love, we love
I
that.
wash it. I can wash it and reuse it. It's
So
basically
we're
like
not
a
using
makeup-
paper towels anymore because I feel like that's
I don't think I'm doing
it's
that.
disposable.
I don't want to dispose.
To dry your face?
Yeah, to pat dry because we're not using wash rags.
No,
That-
no, we're
that
not
is very
using-
much 2010.
But hear me out.
2010.
Hear me out. Go to the dollar store, get a 50 pack of white washcloths, and use a different one every day.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't feel like that's susustainable.
I
feel like that's bad for the environment.
You just throw them in the washing machine.
I don't
It's not
know.
worse than your paper towels.
They're going to trash.
It's supposed to do that. All right.
Right.
It's just extra absorbent.
Y'all are crazy.
Okay.
Anyway,
The beauty girls, we can do this all day.
I'm crying. Thinking of like that disposable thing, I like them because you can put them in the washing machine, you can wash them and reuse them, and they're amazing. Literally, it sucks the makeup off. All you need is water.
Okay.
And you
But do
just
they clean all the way?
It cleans, and all you
Probably
gotta do
need
is
to
your
cleanse
routine.
after.
Yes,
but it
of
removes
course.
the makeup.
It removes the makeup. So thinking of removal, let's think about some things that we could probably remove in some areas of our life. I'm gonna navigate us over a little bit to this girl
Triggered.
chat.
It's early. It's too early.
Is it too early? Well,
Okay,
you know
no.
what? You know what? Let's actually run it by a number. So we're gonna play this little game that I came up with. Okay, you guys ready? I love games. So exciting. So basically, I'm going to put a number in this number generator, and it's going to generate a category, and I'm going to pull a question for it. You guys ready? So we're going to remove some things. Hopefully, it lands on relationships. Let's see. Generate. Okay, number 3. All right, category number 3 is entrepreneurship and creativity.
Ooh.
Okay, y'all ready?
Let's get
Let's get into it.
I feel like I need to
I need to
sip. I need
Come on,
to
let's
sip. Are we cheersing? We didn't cheers.
Ooh, yeah, let's do it.
Cheers.
Clink, 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 clink.
Yes, I love it. I am
all
so
had to
excited to talk about this. Okay, so let's get into it. So this topic is entrepreneurship and creativity, category 3, and it says the realities of building a brand.
Ciao. The PTSD is kicking in.
Well, we got to give the audience what they need.
Yeah.
Right? They're here for a reason, so let's do it. It says what you weren't prepared for when you first started to pursue your passion or your business. What was one thing you weren't prepared for when you started to pursue your passion or your business? Who wants to kick it off first?
I can start.
Yeah, let's do it.
So for me, my journey has been all over the place. And I feel like a lot of the times it really just came from like me pursuing my interests and then opportunities coming my way. And then I just ran that way. But then I had to take a step back and say like, what do I actually want to do? Yeah. So in 2020, I was doing fashion PR at the time and I quit my job and I was like, I want to get back to my roots of editorial. I want to get back to writing. And it was the perfect time. And then COVID happened. Boom. Wow. Okay. What am I going to do? Like, this is not, and I was like, let me build my freelance writing business.
Yeah.
And so actually it kind of was a good time because of all the shifts that were happening. And suddenly everybody realized that there were all these natural hair articles that had been written by women with straight hair, and they finally needed women with natural curly hair to write them.
Look at the turn of the
So
tables.
it did all come my way that way, but it all came from me first building my own platform and doing things for free and connecting with people. Like, I think so often everyone's like, name your price and then double it. But like, honestly, if you don't have a reputation, people aren't paying you double for not knowing anything about you. So sometimes you have to volunteer. Sometimes you have to make connections. And I think one thing I wasn't prepared for as I had gotten started and I had a podcast and I had this blog and I had a brand that was doing really well. And then I started to change. And then I no longer identified with this brand that I created because I created it in a different season of life. And so I just had to shut it down for a while and rediscover myself. And I think that in our like content creation world, everybody feels like you have to always be putting stuff out and like you have to bring people along for every transition of life. But sometimes you actually just need to go inward, rediscover yourself.
That's great.
And then once you are secure in your identity, then you can pop back out and now you know what your brand needs to be. Now you know the direction. But I wasn't prepared for waking up and going through these life changes and saying like, oh my God, I created this when I was in a totally different season of life and so I don't relate. And now I got to go back to the drawing board and start all over again.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that too.
Yeah. And honestly, Kindra, you just said something that reminded me of your story too, Ericka, about the rediscovery point. So Ericka, tell me a little bit about the rediscovery, because you just went through an incredible like transition of change. And you also went through an incredible transition of branding. And I think that there is some amazing person that's trying to figure out what they're about to do in that season. And so what is it that you wish that you would have done in this rediscovery season?
I think asking for help when you need it has been the hardest part of my entrepreneurial journey. Like I am I can do it by myself person. Like I got it. I don't need nobody. I'm good, because no one's going to be able to execute something the way that I can execute something. So I think learning how to build a team, how to hire good talent,
That's great.
what to look for when you're looking to bring people onto your team. Not only are we compatible, but like, do you have building blocks that I can build off of and integrate you into different areas of the business? Like, what's your capacity and superpowers? So there was a leadership quality that I don't think I had fully I was fully prepared for, and that I wish I would have had a me
That's so
back
good.
then to help me now. I feel like my eye is tearing. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
No,
That's
but-
amazing. I feel like that was
that's so
right
good.
on point because it had me thinking as I'm listening to both of your stories is like there are always going to be pivots in your journey. And I think that a lot of times when people are tapping into entrepreneurship and creativity, they're not realizing that there will be pivots. And so I was listening to this podcast the other day, which was so amazing. And I think it was with Darius Daniels, and he had his portion of podcasting. So he said something that has stuck with me as you guys were talking about the pivot, which was you're not preparing for your good days. You're preparing in entrepreneurship for your bad days because your bad days are the days that you're not going to want to get up. The bad days are the days that you're not going to feel like calling that client or making 100 cold calls. I used to tell people that in the beginning of my business, when I used to knock on stores' doors just to be like, hey, I got a model agency. You need some talent, baby. And they look at me like I'm crazy. They don't prepare you for you to get rejected. They don't prepare you for those different pieces. And so as I listen to both of your stories, it has literally been a pivot. And I'm really encouraged also by both of you because you're very talented. I know we ain't getting all the talent right now, but you both are incredibly talented. And it leads me to my next question in this like category, which is along the lines of like, how do you protect yourself from burnout while you're going through the hustle? Because that is something as a mom, as a wife, and even in your dating season, right? Because both of you are wives. In your dating season, how did you build that to be able to make sure you don't burn out in that space?
Yeah, I literally just recorded an episode on this yesterday on the Boss Babe Reset podcast. But setting boundaries with yourself, I think is the one of the hardest things to do. I think society is very big on setting boundaries with other people, right? Say no,
Yes,
set
that's
boundaries, but learning how to set boundaries with yourself, extremely hard because you can out-talk yourself out of so many different things. So you're like, you know what? I'm not going to work past 6 today. But it's like, well, this actually really needs to get done and no one can do it like me. So I'm just going to do it anyway. Like you not keeping promises to yourself
That's
is
so
one
good.
of the biggest forms of lack of self-love. I feel like there really is.
I feel like you was talking to me. Okay.
Not
no
keeping
shade,
the
no
promises
tea, no
to
shade, no
yourself.
tea.
Not keeping your promises to yourself. If you taking
hello.
notes, you need to be writing this down right now because that is a big one.
You also lose trust with yourself when
Exactly.
you break the promises to yourself.
Wow.
about it.
Okay, wait, no, I need you to tell me. You can't just leave that note and you got to tell us what that means,
Yeah,
baby.
I mean, for example, I had always told myself that I'm not an administrative person. Paperwork, never. No, can't do it. No. And so when those things would come up, I would put them off and I would, tell myself I was going to do it and then I wouldn't do it. And then by that habit of breaking those promises to myself, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like I would tell myself I was going to do something and then I would put it off. And then you start to lose faith in your ability to do things. Like literally at the end of last year, I had all these goals that I wanted to do for 2025. And I said, before I capture any of those goals, I need to do all of the paperwork, all of the administrative things that I had been putting off and all these tasks that became so big in my mind that literally took 1 day or an hour to complete. And when I tell you by doing that, I built up trust in my ability to handle administrative tasks. And now when something comes my way, I just handle it immediately. But I had just lost trust in myself in that area.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you both really said some really great gems in that. And it had me thinking about even just listening to you, Kindra, about like building trust in yourself. I think that as you go throughout entrepreneurship, you will face burnout. Like you're going to ultimately come into it, but it's up to you to have that trust within yourself that you can push past it. Because that's the biggest thing of like burnout and breakthrough is like you experience your breakthrough when you realize that the way you've been operating doesn't work.
But I want to challenge that because sometimes it's not something that you need to push past. Sometimes it's something you need to sit in.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yes.
And I'm going to be tired today.
Yes, you are.
Okay. And
that's so good.
And I think we need to get uncomfortable with that uncomfortable because I feel like we're high achievers, we're creative, we have these big dreams. It's like we just got to keep going, keep going. That's past burnout though. Like I think burnout and exhaustion are two different things.
That's great. That is
like
good.
exhaustion is a temporary state. Burnout is you may never come back from that. So I think we need to be able to protect our peace, protect our space, and yeah. I was gonna go deep.
We need to create a rhythm of rest to prevent burnout. When you have a Sabbath, like whether that's from Friday night to Saturday night, like I don't do any work, or whether that's your Sunday, so maybe you serve really big at your church and Sundays aren't a rest day for you, so you need to find a day that's not Sunday to Sabbath. But by actually incorporating those rhythms of rest, you're able to kind of pull that back. And I also want to touch on what you said, Jasmine, with about being in that season of rest versus like being a mom. And like, I'm not telling single women to hustle it all out and to the point of burnout, but I will say that you can drop more balls when you're single that won't break. Like if I drop the ball on a day with my son and I decide I'm not doing anything, Dad's there, but Dad will give him food, but he might just eat 5 bananas that day. He's like, I don't get to say, I don't get to tap out. Like when you're a mom and when you're a wife, like you have to show up. But when you are in a season of singleness, it is an opportunity for selfishness in a different type of way where you can say, of course, still be a good friend, be a good sister, be a good mom. Like these people love you and need you, but you get to say, when I was single and my boyfriend then, my now husband, would be like, hey, do you want to hang out today? Sometimes I would say, no. I'm actually just chilling by myself, or actually, no, I'm writing all day today. And I had the privilege of that. Still give yourself that Sabbath, but also take advantage of the selfishness that you get to have and to be able to focus on your dreams and like go, rest. Go, rest. At a pace that you can't do in another season of life.
This episode is proudly sponsored by Tech Light Associates. This is your go-to AV solution. I'm talking all things audio, all things visual, and all things production. Whether you're hosting a wedding or an event, this is going to be your AV top-tier solution. I'm talking everything you need. You don't want to be worried. You don't want to kind of go throughout your event wondering if your tech is actually working. This is going to be the perfect solution for you. And I'm telling you this because I want to make sure that you're locked in. From weddings to corporate events to hanging out with your bestie for her next launch party, I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. This is going to be the perfect place for you to make moments unforgettable. I'm talking about moments that bring memories. Ready to elevate your event? It's the perfect opportunity to do it. All you have to do is visit www.techlightavl.com and follow them on social media to stay tuned for all the next things that they have coming. I can't wait to connect with you again, so let's jump back into the episode. See you soon. Bye. No, that's great. Honestly, I'm glad you touched on relationships because I actually hit the generation of numbers. And
aren't you supposed to be asking us the numbers? I feel like you're rigging it.
No, I
you were supposed to be getting numbers.
I hit generate, and it said number 4. And so number 4 is actually relationship and personal life. So I'm glad you actually talked about that. So I kind of want to go ahead and jump into that space because I feel like when it comes to building up your entrepreneurship life, or maybe you're a leader at some point in your life, maybe you lead in corporate, or maybe you lead in the marketplace, or maybe you're a creative and you're like, girl, I ain't got no leadership skills. I just be doing the best I can with what I got. Okay. So I want to kind of talk to those audiences, and I really want to talk about it in the space of relationships because you mentioned how when you were dating, you had boundaries. And Ericka also mentioned boundaries as well when it came to her personal self. So my next question is, how do you maintain boundaries when it comes to building something as a friendship and a relationship? And a relationship can be intimate, like a partner or your husband or your wife, or maybe you're building it and you're dating. But how do you set those boundaries to be able to balance both of those things as an entrepreneur?
What I see is that the boundaries that you set for yourself are the ones that people are going to respect. So again, it goes back to keeping that self-trust. If you're not treating yourself properly, if you're not keeping your promises to yourself, people are not going to be able to rely on you, and people are not going to be able to treat you the way that you need to be treated. So I think for me, when I want to say no in certain seasons, or because I'm tired, I don't want to do dinner tonight, or I don't want to do these things, they know that it's for a reason. They know that, listen, Ericka's having a time right now. Ericka's in a season. And that's why communicating with your friends and the people around you are so important. Yeah. All of my friends know what I'm building. I feel like I'm building very publicly. So if they want to do a happy hour, or they want to do guys, I don't have it in me today. Yeah. And I don't have to fear that, oh, Ericka's so flaky. Ericka's always doing this and that. Yeah. Like, they know. So I think part of also having boundaries is communicating those boundaries to other people and letting them know what season you're in, letting them know where you're at, because people are not mind readers. I feel like that's a very big issue in a lot of friendships, and why a lot of relationships just kind of melt away, is because we're not communicating our needs. We're not communicating our seasons. And I think the more open we are with people, the more vulnerable we are with people, we give people an opportunity to support us and be there for us in a way that wouldn't be possible if we were closed off.
That's so good.
I'm also learning to have boundaries around other things, like boundaries around work or boundaries around my own creative time, so that I can prioritize my relationship and that I can prioritize my son. And I think it's so easy when you're, and especially, let's talk about it. Men and women, we can be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Even in our capacity for respecting the other person's hustle. I'm not saying it should be this way. I'm just saying sometimes it is that way. And our husbands need our support so much, and even more than I realized. Like when I had a transition with work, like let's be transparent, we're being real here. So I was working, nice cushy 6-figure beauty job, and I got laid off. And it was shocking, but also kind of relieving. I was thinking about transitioning out, and then the time come and I started to list off all the other things I was going to have time for. I was like, I'm going to have more time to volunteer at church. I'm going to have more time to write this
with your
book.
son.
I'm going to have more time but no, I didn't make, obviously to be on my son, but I didn't put my husband on the list. I didn't put my marriage on the list.
Wow, that's
all
real.
the things I was going to have more time for. And even helping him build his business. My husband's an entrepreneur as well. And I have so many skills that could help him, but that's not where my brain went originally. And I had to get checked on that and realize like, oh my God, I need to have boundaries
that's so good,
around
Kindra.
the priority of my marriage and of my relationship. And it's an opportunity to have more time with him as well, and not just to only use that time.
That's so good. I feel like when you say that though, I mean, I immediately think about like when I first got married, right? Like, so as you ladies know, James and I got married 3 years ago. I cannot believe it. It's about to be 3 years and a month and a half. I'm so excited, but it's so weird because it's like as you get in transition, and this could probably be for any of my girls that they were building their own business and then they got married. And so you're now merging two different lives. And I something that, as I'm hearing you talk about your season and just like the layoff and just how you had to transition, there was a transitional point in my singleness as an entrepreneur and my singleness as a married woman. And I think that a lot of times when we hear things from like women who are entrepreneurs, when we hear things from these big leaders, I feel like nobody talks enough about that transitional season and how hard it actually is to shift going from being an individual to being married. And I'm not saying hard in a sense that like, oh my gosh, like my marriage is hard. I think it's an internal battle that you have to unwind with yourself, because I spent my business, praise God, is 9 years old this year. And so I spent the bulk of about 7 years building that thing by myself. That was my baby. That was my priority. You know what I mean? Like I was missing the girl chats and the travel with my girlfriends to build this baby. You know what I mean? And I realized like once I got married, I moved to a new state, that there was so much more that God had for me if I was open to the transition. Wow. And it actually it leads me to one of those other points that I want to kind of tap into, is that I felt like I was playing tug-of-war with God. I felt like when I was in that transition season, trying to manage the entrepreneurship, I'm like, well, God, I'll give you a little bit of that. And then I pulled it back. I'm like, nah, I want it back. Like, I'll give you a little bit of that. And I pulled it back. And I think there might be somebody listening that really needs to understand how to maintain the tug of war. And my biggest point of that is you got to release the rope. So my question to you is, at what point did you release the rope in this tug of war in your transition?
I'm still releasing it.
Okay.
It's hard. So I've been married. It's going to be 6 years this year. Woo! Oh my goodness.
Doesn't it feel weird to say 6?
Oh, so old.
How is that possible when we're all teenagers?
Right, basically.
I mean, I'm only 20.
Just
like,
a girl.
please.
Just
anyway. But yeah, I think it's something that I'm still navigating, because I think for a long time I believed the lie that you and your spouse can't build at the same time, because we need to focus our resources on one thing at a time. So now, as we're going into 6 years of marriage and we both have our own individual businesses, like I have like my skincare brand and he has his logistics company. It's like, how do we separate our resources as a married couple to support both? And what does that look like practically? And is that a feasible thing? So even for me, that's letting go of what I thought my business would be by this point, because now our resources are shared but split.
Yeah.
So I think even still letting go, okay, well, how much am I willing to compromise on this? Am I willing to not take late meetings? Am I willing to not work weekends to prioritize my marriage, to support my husband in his endeavors like he has, with me? So it's something that I don't think you ever get over. It's this constant like, give and take, ebb and flow, that I think you eventually find your flow in.
And I feel like you find your season.
Right.
Right. Like I feel like every season is different when I think about it.
Yeah. And it takes faith and trust in God to take that step back. And it's not even a step back. Like God is going to bless you for prioritizing your marriage on a Friday night instead of working those extra 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like you are not going to miss anything because you take that opportunity to trust God and just to, relax a little bit. But I can't remember where exactly I heard this at. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about a study of high power women from all around the world who were also in healthy, successful, happy marriages. And all of these women, the commonality was that they were out there killing it in the world, but then when they were around their husbands, they melted, they softened.
And I love that.
And
I love that
they
for
allowed
them.
themselves to allow.
I'm working through that.
You love that for them? Right.
I love that for them.
You have to
because
be in your femininity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you might be calling the shots, but there's a way to do it with gentleness when it comes to your husband.
That's so good because I think about when you go, I learned this from my therapist because shout out to therapy.
Love therapy.
Okay. If you're not in it, get in it, baby, because it's going to help change your life.
Stay in it.
And stay in it as much as you can. Okay.
Yeah, I need to go.
But I think about when I go back to like the first like year when I got married, and I remember like talking to my therapist and I was like, I got all these decisions I got to make. I've been making them with my business. I got to decide if I want to pay this person or if I don't want to pay this person or if I have to do this or I got to write this contract. I'm deciding things all day, every day. And then I get home and I'm depleted. Yeah. So when my husband asks me, okay, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, I don't know what I want to eat.
Decision fatigue.
Yes. Yeah. And so she helped me like really walk through understanding that it's okay to not always have to know the answer to everything and to also set a boundary and a balance between you making a decision for yourself. So she taught me this one thing and I'm gonna share it because I think it'll be very helpful for any leader that's out there. She taught me something along the lines of sometimes, like you said, Ericka, earlier, of just you have to ask for help. So I'm telling her, I'm like, okay, this is the problem and how do I fix it? And so what she broke down to me was that you have to share with your spouse that you need help with making a decision. And she's like, that sounds so basic, but a lot of times women who are high achieving women who are constantly making decisions as CEOs or leaders in their household or their families, these women oftentimes have no mental capacity to make another decision, right? And so she said, you do this. She said, literally, you're gonna say, hey, next time we have to make a decision, can you give me options? And I was like, options? Okay, so how do I break that down? So now my husband and I, we have this thing where if he's asking me about, okay, what do you want to eat for dinner? He's like, do you want fried food, soul food, or Chinese food? Which one you want? Right. And I'm like, that's giving me the opportunity to think about what I need, not about the decision I have to make, because the decision I have to make becomes a task. And I've learned that even when we kind of have relationships with friends, it becomes a task to decide on something when in reality, you can teach people how to help you respond better. And I've learned that in multiple relationships. It's like, hey girl, because I used to feel like in the beginning, I had to always show up for everybody. Especially in my entrepreneurship journey, I felt like I always had to be at this birthday party, this event, or with my husband, or at this church event or something. And so I had to realize, like, if I'm not able to do one thing, I should have the option to do another. And the way that I created that was really sitting and focusing on, like, okay, if I can't go to the birthday party, maybe I can send a gift. Right?
Yeah. How can I show up?
Exactly. And so I have a question for you ladies in this space of, when it comes to relationships, what tips would you give somebody who might be struggling with that to help them better show up for themselves?
Oh, be consistent with your consistent. Now I can't speak. Child. Be consistent with your date nights. I feel like even in my marriage, date nights are priority. Like, despite whatever meetings I may have, whatever business calls, like that time that we have is uninterrupted. And I mean, like, phone do not disturb type interrupted. Mm-hmm. And it's an opportunity to have very open conversation and to check in and to see where each other is at that point in time. Because how I was yesterday or how I was last week may not be how I'm doing this week.
That's great.
So having those pockets of communication time are very important, and having it be habitual. So trying to have it the same day every week if possible. Mm-hmm. But I think that consistency allows for consistent communication.
That's great.
Yeah. I think, like you said, it's date night, but it's just having fun.
Yes.
Because when you're working so hard, you're building your business, you're having children and you're working on the children, you can become such collaborators and such partners that like the friendship fun side can start to take a step back. And then you're just annoyed with your coworker. And then you'll hang out and you're like, I like you. Like a lot. You're fun.
Like I like you a lot.
Yeah, this is why I like you. But you can like get so wrapped up in the day-to-day of life that you can kind of forget that. So it's important just to like bring fun into it. Because the work will be there.
Always.
So speaking of fun, I'm going to let Ericka choose the generation number. So generate us a number.
How I do this?
Steaming.
Generate.
What number did it get?
No, we're going to do it again.
No. What number is it?
4.
Okay, number 4. So we're going to go with number 4. And that's great. Number 4 is the lighthearted and fun topics. So let's do it. Okay, cool. So ladies, let's get into what is your most go-to comfort food?
Ramen.
Ramen? Oh, I love ramen
Especially
too.
if it's cold. I actually don't gotta be
You
cold.
like cold ramen?
No,
I don't know about that. Right, 'cause I was like, I don't know about that.
No.
You lost me.
Cold, crunchy. No. When it's cold outside, a nice, hot, warm bowl of ramen, and give me the extra soy egg, the soy sauce egg.
Okay.
Yes,
I
ramen.
love that. That is so
I don't
good.
like a runny egg in my ramen though.
I don't either. I actually asked them to do it.
Runny, it's more like sticky.
You like it when it's like half cooked?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna let you have that one.
Okay. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's our comfort
We're
food.
gonna let you have that one. We're gonna let you have that one.
I'm loving that for you.
I love me some oxtail, some rice and peas, and
Okay,
some callaloo.
okay.
Scrumptious.
Where you getting your oxtail from?
I make it.
Okay.
Oh.
Cause
She's homely. She could cook. She could cook or whatever.
Can I
She's
be
not one that
honest?
can cook.
I never had oxtail
It's okay if you
until
can't
I
cook,
moved to
though.
New York. I didn't know.
Really?
I'm from the South. There's not a lot of
there's
No,
Caribbean
and
people.
but they make oxtails different in the South. Southern oxtail is not Caribbean oxtail. Let's just make that extremely clear. Oh, I don't know which
didn't
camera
know
I'm
that.
looking into. I'm looking into all of them.
You're gonna have the comments going
Okay.
on right now. I
I'm
mean,
just letting
it's-
y'all know.
It's like the war with jollof
Okay.
and Nigeria and Ghana jollof. I'm just saying, my husband's
didn't know
Ghanaian, so I
either.
choose Ghana.
If your oxtail is light brown, it's not cooked. Okay.
Oxtail is good though. When I don't eat red meats now, but when I did used to eat oxtail, Jamaican oxtail used to be
Time.
so good. I would say my comfort food that I really loved, I still love it, but I have to say fried chicken because I don't eat it often, but a good crunchy fried chicken, well seasoned. It don't gotta be all oily and whatnot. I just want it to be fresh. And sometimes I make it at home and it's so good and I love just like, it's just like chef's
When you
kiss.
say fried
Classic.
chicken, you talking about like a Kennedy's fried chicken or like a KFC fried chicken?
Neither
Like, what
one
kind
of those
fries?
First of all, I don't
suitable.
even know where Kennedy's is.
Y'all don't
Neither
have-
one of those
you're
are
from
suitable
you in Jersey.
examples
What's
of
the
fried
Jersey?
I'm
chicken.
from Maryland, so I don't even
Okay,
know.
well,
It's one of those
what's
New
the
York-
Jersey equivalent
it's
to
the New York-
Kennedy's?
I don't know.
Crowns? What y'all have out
Oh
here?
no, they do have crowns out here, but
Okay,
I never
maybe
had their chicken.
Okay,
None of those
okay.
spots. None of those spots.
There's a hot spot that I like going to. I'm not gonna shout them out. I'm not giving them publicity, but I love this hot spot. Their chicken is busting. I just love it. It's just very crunchy, and they have flavors. It's so good.
Now I'm
I love a
hungry.
good
Thank
fried
you.
chicken moment.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna close out. Not to be super like long-winded, but I want to kind of go into the next question. Is what is one thing you can't live without? Now you can take it on the spiritual deep end, but we gonna make it fun and light. What is one thing, maybe in your house or maybe on your day-to-day, that helps you with your entrepreneur journey that you feel like you just can't live without?
You know what? Recently for me, it's been bath time.
Okay.
Because bath time is sometimes it's not like Langston's bath time. That's a necessary thing to do. It's fun. But my bath, because
love
bath
that.
has become worship time for me. It's
Ooh,
become
nice.
quiet time.
That's
it's
so good.
thinking. Sometimes it's just scrolling. But like my bath, and I'm talking about 45 minutes to an
Yeah.
hour.
As
I'm
it should
really
be.
taking
That
my
sounds so
time.
fun right
I've been
now.
doing it each night.
Yeah.
And I've just been like allowing that to be my time to myself, whether I'm using that as a prayer time
That's so
or
good.
it's mindless. Like I need that wind down me time.
I love that.
This sounds silly, but my bed. I am a sleepy girl. I love
love
it.
you
I
get
love.
your rest.
I love a good nap time. I'm the girl that can sleep anywhere, anytime, any place. Sun, more. It don't matter. But like being able to like lay down, decompress. My bed is my safe space.
I love that. I would say that one thing that I can't live without, it has to be something along the lines of my music time, my worship time. Like I really enjoy just listening to music and listening to the presence of God and quiet time. I mean, if I could do it for hours, I probably would. I just like being at that peace. And just, I would not, if they got rid of music in this world, I would be so sad. Like, I really love my music. Like, it's just such a good time. And kind of leads me to the next note. Like, I am so grateful that I get to experience this with you ladies. Like, you're another part of my life that I just cannot live without. Like, I'm so grateful for both of you. The way that you have shown up in my life, I got to give you your flowers. The way you have shown up constantly over and over again, no matter if I'm sending a million long texts or if I'm like, hey, I need some advice about something. You guys have done so many great things. And I just know that God's going to continue to bless you in your journeys as entrepreneurs, as wives, as mothers, as literally leaders in everyday people's lives. I'm so grateful for you. And I just want to say thank you for coming on the Crafted for Glory podcast today.
Thank you for
having
me. Love you so
girl.
much. In the comments, make sure you clap it up for my sisters and make sure you follow them on their social medias. It will be linked and ready for you. Thank you, family. I just want to say you have tuned in to the Crafted for Glory podcast, and it is an honor to have you here, no matter where you're tuning in from, whether you're driving in your car this morning or you're watching us on YouTube while you're cleaning the dishes, you belong. It is a community where we literally speak about leadership, creativity, and how to go on your entrepreneurship journey. I'm telling you, you will always be blessed, no matter where you are or wherever you are or what you're doing. This is the perfect place to you. You don't have to be the perfect Christian. You don't even have to follow Christ. This is the community that you want to be a part. So do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe, leave us a review, write in the comments, and follow us on social media. I can't wait to see you next time. And remember that you were made for this. You are crafted for God's glory. Love you. Bye.